What's up, guys? Today, I'm going to talk to you about how I got 3 graphic design internships at Walt Disney World. Eugene, title! What's up, unicorns? Eric here. Today, I want to talk to you about how I got 3 graphic design internships at Walt Disney World. So, let me just start off with a disclaimer. I got these internships back in 2009, 2011, so the process may be a little different. I don't know how they do things now, but so I just want to put that out there. And so how I got these internships, well, one, I didn't come from a very fancy art school like Art Center or the Art Institutes or SCAD or anything like that. I come from a really small school called Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville, Alabama, that is. And so in this school, it's not primarily art focused. You know, it's not a whole school built around artists. They have like teachers there. You can get your doctorate there, and you get your master's degree in like business. I think could be. So with that said, I came from a really small school. And, I got a degree in art and a concentration in graphic design and a minor in communications. My school doesn't recommend or even encourage, I don't know if they do now, but they didn't really encourage like, hey, go out and get an internship or try to find an internship. It's not a part of the process of graduating like some schools are, like some bigger schools out there. It's not really that part of that process, but in my mind, I was like, I might need to go get an internship. I hear a lot of people talking about internships, and I was like, man, maybe I should go get one too. So I started looking around on the internet. So like the first one I actually looked up was like Jet Magazine when they were actually out and available. And I looked up Jet Magazine, Hollister, I think those two. I think Allure Magazine as well. So I looked up all these different types of places because like I was like, hey, if I'm going to do an internship, I might as well try to go big as possible. So I just looked up the companies that I was into, the companies that I liked. And so one day I just typed in, I wonder if Disney has an internship program. And so I typed into Google, and lo and behold, they actually did have an internship program. I was like, whoa, wouldn't it be dope if I actually got a job at Disney World for an internship? So actually I just, went online, I applied, I submitted my resume, submitted my portfolio, and I actually got a call. I got a call. First I got an email that they want to schedule an interview with me, and so I did it. So I scheduled my first interview with them. I think the first interview was like kind of like a screening interview. We're talking about different things, different scenarios, talking about skill set, et cetera, et cetera. And then the second interview was with was like a panel of people in the on the phone. So you can kind of hear it's like a conference call, because what it is like I applied for a communications graphic design internship, and so the different parks have different communication groups that represent each park. So when you apply to that pool, and then they decide which park you might be best fit for. And then I had the interview. The second interview was like a pool, and so I'm actually talking to the people I would be working with, and that went pretty good. I think my personality came through, and so I think this was back in 2009 around December-ish, going into January. Yeah, it was around December. I got the call that I had the internship. Woo! Exciting, right? So my internship was a professional internship, and there's another one called the college program internship. I'll talk to you about that later. So my first internship was with creative costume and entertainment at Hollywood Studios. So you ever taken the tram ride, the backstage tour, the backlot tour? It actually takes you through the building where I worked, where you can see all the seamstress working and everything like that. I actually worked back there. And so that was pretty cool. My first day at work was awesome. I'll probably show a picture right here of my first day at work of me and my coworkers. I won't show their faces because I don't think they want to be on camera. So it's my first day at work here. I did some pretty cool things there. We did I was part of a bowl-a-thon for it was a bowling team called a bowl-a-thon. We were called the Incredibles. It's for like a charity thing. I also dressed up as like Goofy. Dressed up as a Green Army Man at one point. I got to see the casting preview of villains on the cruise ship. That was really cool. And some other great things I did, man. What's really cool about it, the job was, even like you're in the park. So if you want to go eat, they have a place where you can go eat, but you can actually go eat, on stage, as long as you take your name tag off. So what we do, we would go get lunch, go get a Mickey Premium ice cream bar. We go ride Tower of Terror or go like ride Rock and Roller Coaster, which is pretty cool. And so yeah, that first internship was pretty great. And then the opportunity came where I was able to do a second internship. And how the second internship came about was I was already working in my internship, and it was about to, close out, to be over. Either I was going to do another internship or go back to college and graduate, because this was in my last year of school. Perfect timing, right? So my manager came and was like, hey, Eric, do you want to, what are you going to do? You going back to school? Do you want to apply for another internship? Like what? Because what we were initially trying to do, we were trying to extend my internship in the same role. But they didn't have an extension for my position. So what they had to do is have to reapply and try to get another internship somewhere else. And so that's exactly what I did. Yeah, so I had to do the same thing, submit my application, show my portfolio. I showed work that I've already did while I was in my internship. And so yeah, I had another, phone interview with them, another panel interview. They're all asking me types of questions, about my internship, about the role, about my job, like about my capabilities, et cetera, et cetera. And so I got that one too. It was crazy, and I actually got it. I interviewed, I think at 12 o'clock. I got the job at 4 p.m. So like in 4 hours, they already made their decision whether or not they wanted to keep me on, and they did. And that was like so exciting. I was like, I went home to the guys like, hey man, I'm staying for another freaking 6 months. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, like where are you working at? I'm like, I'm working at the Magic Kingdom, which is so cool. So I worked at the Magic Kingdom doing graphic design for their communications department. And trying to tell you where it is, but if you've ever been on Main Street, if you were to go to Main Street, look down where the castle is, and on the left side, I forget what the building is called, but above that shop is where my office was. So like the whole facade in there that you walk by and all the stores on the bottom, there are actually offices on top, which is really cool. Like I didn't even know that till I, once again, started working there. After that internship ended, I went back to college, and I'm back in school. It's my last semester actually before I graduate. And I complete my class and I graduate, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do after graduation? I had no idea. I was like, do I get a job here in Jacksonville, or do I try to get a job back home in Jasper? Do I go back to Florida? Do I go back to Disney? Like, what do I do? And so I was like so confused. So I just started applying for more internships, right? So I actually applied to Hulu before Hulu was like super popular. I applied to Hulu, and they were like, "Oh, we don't really take recent graduates, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay, great, that sucks." But then they like came back to me, "Oh, we changed the rules, of course. We changed the rules. You can interview now." So I interviewed with Hulu, and honestly, guys, it went horrible. Like, I thought I had it in the bag. I'm like, oh, I got all this Disney internship experience. Like, I know how to design. I know how to talk to people. I think I bombed that interview because all I could talk about was California. That's the only thing I could talk. I didn't talk about the job. I didn't ask like great questions about, what do you like about the role? What is the day-to-day of this role? What are you guys looking for? What are the good and bad? What are the highs and lows? What do you expect in your first 90 days of working? I didn't ask any of those types of questions because, I was just banking off my personality shining through. Because I think that's one reason why I got the internship that I got, because I have a great personality. So I'm always a good fit for a business because I'm able to talk to anyone, make friends with anyone. I'm not one of those type of designers where I'm in a hole, I'm in a cubicle, I'm in the dark with my hoodie on, just in my zone designing. That's not me. I like to interact with people. I like to converse, I like to talk, I like to collaborate. And that's one thing. I'm going to go off on a tangent real quick. That's one thing that most designers struggle with, and why most of you won't get great jobs, because guess what? You don't have the personality, and you don't have it's not a good fit for their business. Yes, you may be the greatest designer ever, right? You may make the best work, but at the end of the day, if you're not a good fit for that business, if you don't have a great personality that shines when you walk in that office, nobody wants to work with you. No one wants to work with the guy who doesn't talk or speak or greet anyone in the office, who's just like a recluse and just into their own zone, into their corner. Yeah, you may produce good work, but guess what? There are other people out there who make great work as well. And guess what? Those people are a lot nicer in a community environment. So that's my little tangent. Don't focus solely on the work. Work on your people skills and work on your soft skills. Long story short, did not get the interview at Hulu, obviously. And so I was like, man, what am I going to do? So I applied. So according to Disney, you can only do, I think, 2 professional internships in a row. Like, that's it. You can only do 2. So I was like, with that thinking, I was like, man, maybe I should apply for the college program. So I applied for the college program. I actually got the college program internship at Hollywood Studios, working in retail. But I actually applied for the retail one, and I also applied for the photography one. Just trying to weigh my options, see which one I would get. But then something in my brain was like, you know what? You should probably try to apply for another professional graphic design internship. I was like, yeah, just do it. So I actually applied for another professional graphic design internship. Even though you're only supposed to be able to get 2, I applied to that one, and I got that one. I was like, this is like godsend. Like, thank you for taking care of me, because like, what would I do? So I actually got a 3rd graphic design internship at Disney while in school, before I even graduated, which was insane. I graduated in I think either May. I came down in June for my internship. It was like graduate, boom, boom. It was crazy. Like, graduated back in Florida, and people were like, "Well, what are you doing?" Like, I'm going back to Florida, man. Like, what? Like, yeah, peace out. So right now I want to jump into the computer and show you guys the portfolio that I submitted to Disney that helped me get the job. And also I'm going to show you some things that I worked on while working at Disney. I'm not going to show you everything. That would take forever. So I'm going to run through a few things and also show you a few little concept things that I was working on. This one note in this portfolio, you're going to notice a theme here. And yeah, it's texture. Alright guys, here's the portfolio that I submitted to Disney. I'm just going to run through this real quick. So it's about 18 images, so here we go. Yeah, let's go run through these pretty quickly. Nothing too crazy. Some of you are thinking, wow, how did this guy get an internship at Disney? Well, I really like texture at this point, as you can tell. And I also love burning and dodging. So yeah, some of these images, like this was entered to an art show. I got into a jury show for that. I actually won an actual art show with this. This is Custom Mini Works. Yeah, I really love burning and dodging. Love the textures as well. Man, textures was my thing back then. Look at all these things. This is horrible. Oh my god, this is horrible. Alright, this is Lupe Fiasco. Whatever. Next. Yeah, here's another poster I made. Here's another poster here. Some of these are student works. Like, this is a student work. That's a student work. So let's get into the stuff that I did at Disney. Here we go. Alright, so these are some elevator news I was talking to you about when I worked at the Magic Kingdom. Okay, not too bad. Just going to go through this pretty quickly. When I worked at Disney Hollywood Studios, made some couple posters here. This is a safety card for chemical use at the Magic Kingdom. Here's a poster. Oh, here's the cool thing. This is a sign that I created. for Disneyland, Disney World, and other Disney locations. So when they do conference calls, they know who's talking. Tabletop sign, wall sign. This is a cool project that actually got to go talk to the vendors and touch the product and touch the materials. Logo design I created for them. It's pretty cool. They actually made it into a big sign on their wall. They call it Vault. Another little logo I created for them. This is the most horrible looking logo I've ever seen. I don't think they use this one because I wouldn't use it. Poster for the Magic Kingdom. Here's another flyer here. Here's a banner. So that was just a few things that I did at Disney. Now I want to show you some of the concept work that I did because I was really into mocking up things, doing what's it called? Forget. Whatever. But anyway, I took this photo of Boba Fett at a parade at Disney Hollywood Studios. I made this little cool. People love this one. Boba Fett's my favorite character. So look, once again, texture, rain texture, cool. Here's another one, Rex, bunch of textures. Try to make a cool atmosphere. Took this photo as well. Made a little background with it. Textures again. Here's one. Here's my least favorite one. My Darth Vader one. Even though Darth Vader is my favorite character, I just cannot figure out what to do with him. So I just made this. Really into textures and hand drawing. All right, so that was the portfolio. It's a little rough, right? I mean, the work that I do now is 100 times better. So with that said, guys, I'm sorry the video was so long, but I have a lot to talk about. I still have more to talk about. If you guys want to know more, just comment below, and maybe I'll do another video, maybe a Q&A if you guys have any more questions. But just remember, guys, always reach for your dreams, man. Always go out there and do your best and achieve your goals. And with that said, like I always say, don't just be a unicorn. Be an ugly unicorn. Peace. Why am I still wearing this hat? Oh, look at that. Oh, a little graduation. Whatever. That's better.